How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Now in this video I figured I would do a bit of a character guide with these new reinforcements that were added in the new Rise of Skywalker update. I figured I would do a guide on how to be the best version of the Jet Trooper that you could be, sort of help out the players that are new to the game and maybe even some of you veteran players. And then if you guys enjoyed this video, I'll consider doing them for all the new reinforcements. So this is how I personally play as the Jet Trooper. I'm going to go over my star cards, the different abilities, and how you can overall just improve your skills using this Jet Trooper. So looking at the abilities, he has his jetpack. It says advanced jetpack that enables flight while spending fuel. Its hover mode is activated by aiming down the sight of the blaster while in air. And a lot of people didn't realize this. I didn't even realize this at first. I just thought it worked like a jetpack and you had to hover just by pushing the button and releasing the button, kind of just like Boba Fett, which is one of its main key abilities. It even says passive ability hover mode. Hold zoom while in the air to enter hover mode. And it is such a great ability. This gives you such an advantage because no one thinks to look directly above them. Like you can get really, really high up in the sky and just shoot down upon everybody with your grenade launcher. And speaking of the grenade launcher, we have the tri-barrel launcher. Reconfigure the blaster to fire from the tri-barreled projectile launcher at the expense of increased heat buildup. So personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this grenade launcher. It does not do enough damage in my opinion. I think it could use a slight buff. Just imagine the Clone Commando's grenade launcher, but a lot weaker. Now the difference with this grenade launcher, with the Clone Commando you get 3 shots and then the ability is over and you have to wait for it to cool down before you can use it again. With the Jet Trooper, when you activate the tri-barrel launcher and you run out of grenades, you can manually reload it just by hitting the cooldown indicator and you can just keep firing. So you have a faster rate of fire and you can just manually reload the grenades. Which I guess is the trade-off versus the Clone Commando's more damage output, is that you have to wait for the timer to cool down. But honestly, it's not that much of a cooldown for the Clone Commando versus the Jet Trooper. So even with that little bit of a difference of the faster rate of fire, I just still don't think that these grenades are that good. But from what I've found is that if you just fly up above everybody, that's kind of the best way to use the grenades. Because the arc of the grenades don't go very far, there's not much range to the grenade launcher. So what I like to do is just get way above the objective, wait for people to gather up beneath me, and then I'll just fire straight down below. That way I'm more likely to hit my targets. I found that this is really good on maps like Crate in the second phase, or Takadana, anywhere that there's an objective where there's a big pile up of enemies. You can just sort of rain down grenades and you'll hit 3 or 4 of them at the same time before they even realize what's happening. Because like I said, nobody thinks to look directly up into the sky. And then for the middle ability, we have Jet Tackle. It says charge forth along the ground and slam into the enemy to knock them off of their feet. So this is basically a shoulder charge. Just imagine Han or the new gunner. That's all it is a shoulder charge but with a jetpack. This version looks way cooler. It's obviously way faster and it's just really fun to use. Now in terms of damage, I don't think it's that good. I wouldn't use this ability unless you know you're in like a 1v1 situation. Never jet tackle into a large group of enemies because you can only hit like 1 at a time. I think sometimes I've been lucky and I've hit 2 of them at once, but it just does not do enough damage. Like you might get lucky and kill like an assault or a specialist, but I don't think it can one-shot heavies. It just doesn't do that much damage to heroes. So honestly, I don't use this as an attack ability. I use this mainly just to escape because this ability, when it's activated, is so fast it's almost impossible to hit you because you're just flying across the screen at like a million miles an hour. Now I do wish that these abilities would work together. I wish that when you were hovering in the air with your jetpack that you could also activate Jet Tackle so that you could fly across the battlefield like way faster. That's the only problem I have with this, but I like this Jet Trooper way better than Boba Fett now. I think Boba Fett needs to be designed the same way as this Jet Trooper. And then for his regular blaster, it's not the best, it's not the worst. It doesn't do that much damage. It is pretty accurate though, but the damage drop off is pretty significant, so you're not going to be sniping people at a distance. It does pretty decent headshot damage, but honestly, it's not as good as like some of the assault classes blasters or even some of the other jump troopers damage. For example, the clone jump trooper does more damage with his pistol. The resistance and the rebel jump troopers, they do more damage with their blaster from what it feels like. But I would imagine that it does less damage because they also give you that option of the grenade launcher. And then when it comes to the star cards, you have 5 different options. You have aerial training, acquisition, battle hardened, survivalist, and evasion. So I like to go with aerial training. You gain a small amount of health for each defeated enemy. So this is a good way to just replenish your health instantly in the fight. This has saved me so many times in like 2v1 situations where I'll kill the first guy, get some health back, and then have time to kill the second guy. Then you have acquisition. Enemies dealing damage to you will be temporarily marked for easier retaliation. I don't like this card at all because odds are if someone's shooting at me, I can already see them. I can see them on radar. I can see them shooting at me. It's kind of obvious. So I just never go with this card for any class ever. I just don't see the point of it. I just don't think it's a very good card. Then I go with Battle Hardened. It increases your health by 20% if you have it fully maxed out, which is obviously a big deal. So I think having that little bit of extra health just makes a big difference in comparison to the other 2 cards, which up next is Survivalist. Your health regeneration is a bit faster. When fully upgraded, it is 100% faster. This actually isn't a bad card to use. Like, the reason I have Evasion equipped is because I was just testing it out. So I normally will go with Battle Hardened and Survivalist and aerial training, because evasion just gives you 1 extra dodge and it has even faster recharge time before you can dodge. I don't dodge that frequently. Now it does come in handy to like get out of the way of a grenade or something, or to dodge sometimes in air. I just don't see the significance of having 3 dodges in compared to having more health and more health regeneration. But that's not to say that you shouldn't dodge. I think dodging is a very important part to being a jet trooper. I dodge constantly. It's one of the most important things that you can do. I just don't like to have 3 of them. I'd rather have more health. But like I said, dodging is a great way to avoid getting killed by grenades. You can get just out of the range of the grenade if you time it correctly. You can dodge in mid-air to make it harder to hit while you're hovering up there above everybody. Dodging is a really good way at confusing people at a distance, like blaster heroes or somebody sniping at you. You can dodge back and forth to avoid getting hit. You can avoid just different hero abilities. It's a good way to avoid saber heroes trying to spam you. You can just dodge out of the way twice, or if you do have that card equipped, you can dodge even 3 times. So I guess if you're very aggressive towards saber heroes, having that extra 3rd dodge might come into handy. And I can't emphasize enough just how important the dodge actually is. I can't tell you how many times I've lived through something that would have normally killed me, but because I was able to dodge out of the way and then activate the jet tackle to make a quick escape, or dodge a couple times, maybe those couple seconds that I'm dodging is just enough time to refuel my jetpack so I can get away. Like, dodging is very, very important as a jump trooper, and it will save your life many times. So be sure to constantly be spamming the B button or the circle button or whatever it is on PC, and get used to multitasking. Get used to shooting your blaster or firing your grenades while you're dodging. Practice an arcade or something, because the faster you move and the more frequently you move, the harder a target you're going to be, and the more likely you are to surviving those encounters. And then when it comes to the health of the Jet Trooper, you have a base health of 200, and then if you have the Star card, it goes up to 240. This is the same as the Heavy. The Heavy has a base health of 200, so with the Star card, it gives you a little bit extra health. And you have so little health in comparison to some of these other reinforcements because you are constantly on the move, so you really have to take advantage of the jetpack. Never stay in one spot for too long. If you're hovering above enemies and somebody gets wind of where you're at, be sure to kill that person right away, or just run away, because odds are if one person's shooting up into the sky, his teammates will also see that, and then they'll start shooting at you. And then before you even have time to react, you are already dead because you have so little health. To pretty much sum up the Jet Trooper, just always stay on the move, hover above objectives, hover above the enemy, use your grenades in large groups of enemies, catch them off guard when you're flying up above them. Never stay in one spot for too long. The jetpack does work the same way as Boba Fett, whereas if you get hit by an explosion or any sort of explosive damage, explosive rounds, it will knock you out of the sky, so you have to be careful for that. Use your middle ability for escapes, or in 1v1 situations, never try to tackle multiple people at the same time. It doesn't work like Dengar in Battlefront 2015, where you can just rush through everybody and get tons of kills. So speed is key. I personally go with the Hellstar cards, And yeah, I think they're a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think about them down in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and then let me know if you want to see other character guides for some of the other reinforcements as well. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out another video. Hit that subscribe button if you are new here, and I will talk to you guys next time.
How convenient to have you all together. You saved me the trouble of hunting you down. The First Order will conquer you all. Soon we will reclaim the galaxy. Perhaps you'll take part.